This is NextGenWeb, and we're here with Chris Boyer, Assistant Vice President of Public Policy at AT&T. Chris was just on a panel here at the Mabuhay Alliance Los Angeles Broadband Summit, a summit called Minorities Leading the Broadband Revolution. On the panel, Chris discussed three main points about how broadband is transforming communities. Could you just elaborate on those a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I was asked a question about what broadband means to me, and I think I try to think of it from three different perspectives. One is what does broadband mean from a public policy standpoint? The other is what does broadband mean to me as an individual, just as a consumer like everyone else, and then also what does it mean to AT&T? And the points I made were basically in terms of from a public policy perspective, I view broadband as a technology that underpins information and communications technology. So a lot of the buzz right now coming out of Washington is how can ICT be used to transform various components of the U.S. economy, whether it is modernizing the electrical grid or things like the smart grid, or whether it can be used for healthcare IT, or whether it can be used for any number of different things, telework, telepresence, environmental issues. So the first point being that when I think of broadband from a public policy perspective, is all those things. Broadband is an enabler of the next generation of ICT-based applications. As an individual, I talked about how broadband, to me as a consumer, really just changes the way we do things every day. I mean, I use broadband for researching for my job. My kids use it for researching for their schoolwork. I use it for staying, just communicating with my friends and family, whether it's through email or through video chats and all sorts of different technologies. So broadband to me has become just a centerpiece of everything I do every day. Last point was from an AT&T perspective. Broadband is a huge investment for our company. I mentioned on the panel that in California alone, we've invested over $7 billion between 2007 and 2009 in our network, over $1 billion of that in the wireless space. So broadband from an AT&T perspective is a huge investment as we try to keep up with the massive growth and demand for broadband connectivity and applications.
Now, California Public Utilities Commissioner Nancy Ryan discussed one of the points that she made was that almost all of Californians have access to broadband, but only about a third of them have adopted, or only two-thirds of them have adopted it, a trend that we've seen across the country as well. Can you discuss, the importance of adoption compared to access?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you look at the statistics, I think in California it's almost, there's only about 4% of homes that don't have access to broadband. I think nationally it's around 8%. So a critical issue, I think, is the adoption issue. And we talked about on the panel where, digital literacy and the need for different programs to just increase literacy and help individuals who haven't adopted broadband understand the importance of broadband and why it is something that they should be using. And I talked a little bit about the coalition that was announced just a couple weeks ago, the Digital Adoption Coalition, which includes a lot of the different companies that are on the panel with me, along with One Economy, which AT&T is a big partner with in terms of trying to do things to increase the adoption rate.
Great, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.